Hello users of the internet, and welcome back to another video from the world's greatest YouTube account. Garisa Pipe Wrench is back for another video, and the squares are starting to protest in the comment section. Well, anyway, with that out of the way, let's get right into that. Let's get right into Minesweeper. Let's hope I can set my personal best in this video. So let's get right into that. Now, I like Minesweeper. It's a bit like Sudoku or Battleship. And yeah, I was talking to my grandma about this actually today. She was playing Sudoku, and I was comparing Sudoku to Minesweeper. It has a similar concept of using the numbers to locate a specific point. Of course, the difference being that in Sudoku, the numbers are to locate where other numbers are, but in this game, the numbers are to find out where the bombs are, the specific points. But it's the same basic concept, or similar at least. In a similar way, Battleship, the board game, relies on the grid system and describing the points. Of course, that isn't a puzzle, that's just a board game. It requires interaction with another person. But it's kind of alike, in a way. Probably not that one. Okay, there we go. That was actually a decent choice. That's probably one. No, it's not. Anyway. Let's see here. What can I talk about? Oh! For anybody... I've probably talked about this a little bit, but I've been trying to get into Idaho State University for nuclear engineering, because I'm hoping to eventually one day do research on nuclear thermal propulsion, which is a means of jet, or in this case more specifically rocket propulsion, in which the heat of it, or the thermal energy, the thermal energy of a nuclear reactor is used to produce an expanding gas, and yeah, instead of normal combustion, burning, say, liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen, or dinitrogen tetroxide and hydrazine in one of its many forms. That's one of the more normal ways that rocket engines run, burning energy-dense chemicals. But another option is to use the heat of a nuclear reactor to superheat, say, hydrogen, because it's light, and that is supposed to be very, very efficient. And while it has a low thrust-to-weight ratio, it's supposed to have, if built correctly, it's supposed to have very high thrust. It's just also a very heavy machine. So I find that fascinating, mainly the efficiency of it, and how it's, it's clean enough for use in space. There's no combustion, which is nice. Combustion is an oxidation reaction, of course, because that's how it works. There's a fuel and an oxidizer. And that's not so friendly to certain materials. Oxygen is not always the nicest substance, and that can kill engines over time, which isn't great for a reusable system. The nuclear system, well, of course, it has its own problems. I would imagine it would. At least there's not a corrosion issue, or at least not too badly, or I don't know. I don't know a lot about it. I haven't gotten to that point in my life, but that's what I'm hoping to get to do. Well, anyway, so I'm going to study nuclear engineering at Idaho State University, the Pocatello campus, because they actually have a nuclear reactor on their campus in the basement of one building. And it's a very low energy reactor, or low output reactor, but it's mostly used, it's only used to demonstrate how to use a nuclear reactor to train the students. Well, anyway, I got accepted to the university, so that's pretty great. Once my brother Pipe Wrench, is feeling better, he's a little ill at the moment. I think we will go out to eat somewhere to celebrate that. Perhaps Culver's, a hamburger restaurant which started in Wisconsin, I believe, and I don't know how common it is throughout the United States. Of course, I imagine it's mostly in the United States. I don't know how common it is in other states, but at least here in Arizona, which I think I've talked about a little bit, living in Arizona, it's a fairly common one here for some reason. A little bit in Utah as well. So that's nice because I have to drive through Utah to Idaho. And or I could go through Nevada, which is the other way I like to go, or I could go through Colorado. I could take a lot of different routes, and I will, because I like to drive. That's one of my favorite activities, driving and seeing this great continent. Well, I haven't gone beyond the United States yet, but maybe Canada one day, but I refuse to go to Mexico. Anyway, but yeah, so probably go out to Culver's to celebrate that, and yeah. I remember planning a trip okay, that was a dumb choice. I remember planning a trip many years ago that would go through St. George, Utah, which is right on the state line with Arizona. And it's a lovely area, actually. Just a little bit farther west of there in Arizona is the Virgin River Gorge, which is an absolutely beautiful place, wonderful topography, and very interesting geographical and topographical features. Very fascinating. Look it up, or better yet, drive through there. If it's on Interstate 15 on the segment through Arizona, if one is going all the way through the Arizona segment, so from Nevada to Utah or vice versa, it has to be seen. There's not really another route. So if any of the greatly appreciated viewers happen to be heading through that area in the near future, do not look up what it looks like, because it's a sight better seen unprepared. It's absolutely stunning. It's wonderful. I had no clue what I was getting into. I knew it was there. I'd heard of it. I didn't know it was called the Virgin River Gorge, but my grandma had talked about it. She hadn't. I don't know if she'd been through there, but her sister, who's my great aunt, her husband, who's my great uncle, is a contractor for the state, and he inspects the billboards throughout Arizona, and so he has to drive around a lot. And one of the places that he ends up going through is along Interstate 15, right through the Virgin River Gorge. So I'd heard it's a really wonderful place, but I'd never seen it. And I remember it was absolutely stunning at the time when I saw it. And unfortunately, I was driving at the time, which was just bad timing. But next time I go through there, I'm not going to be the driver. I got to see this place and really, really see it. Well, anyway, where was I going with all this? Anyway, in St. George, there's a Culver's, and I had been looking forward to eating at it for a long time. Once I finally got a trip to go through there, I have no clue. It's just kind of something that I was really looking forward to doing, and I was happy to finally eat there. So anyway, that was a long tangent just to say that I ate at a fast food restaurant in Utah one time. But I haven't spent long in Utah. Just a little bit. It was just that one trip up to Idaho. And the next trip I take to Idaho is going to go through Nevada. I forget exactly the route. It's either U.S. Route 95 or U.S. Route 93. I forget which one goes to Idaho and which one goes along the diagonal part of Nevada. I think 95 goes along the diagonal part, and 93 goes north to Idaho, but I could be wrong, and I'll have to look that up. But anyway, failed to win a game of Minesweeper. And, but yeah, so yeah, that'll be a fun trip to Nevada. But anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the video, and, yeah, and make sure to enjoy the rest of the internet. And remember, anyone who doesn't subscribe is a square. So yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and enjoy the rest of the internet. Goodbye, users of the internet. This is the world's greatest YouTube account, signing off.